Portugal now playing from left to right, who get the second half underway. Morels was a purposeful runner. He was one of the goal scorers in that 7-0 hammering of the Koreans. That's a free kick awarded to Torres. A block tackle. Bruno Alves, the man who's reputedly got a rather fiery temperament. We saw Morels go down a few seconds earlier. So it is Spain who have the first free kick of this half. And they go backwards to start with. And then sideways. Piqué's measured ball to Ramos. Sergio Ramos leaving it for Xavi, and then for Xavi Alonso. David Villa brings Capdevila, and Capdevila with the cross. Straightforward clearance for Coentrão. And Hugo Almeida has a thankless task there. Puyol. A wayward ball, so Hugo Almeida has a second opportunity, and again it's a thankless task. I use the same phrase because it was just as thankless as the first one he had. So Iniesta advances. Torres was tight on the flank, now he's edge of the 18-yard area. Fails to go beyond Fabio Coentrão. Really has made a big impression. Xavi Alonso. It's only going to take one moment of inspiration from somebody here. You can sense the Spaniards are sort of steeled for it at the moment, just looking for that one moment, and then if they get the lead, they'll look to hold it. Capdevila. They're hemming the opposition into the Spanish at the moment, and that goes through Carvalho's legs back to Eduardo to clear. Once again a free kick against Almeida. Just nudged Puyol in the back on the way up. The whistle went on the way down. Iniesta, short ball. Ramos returns it to the midfield maestro. Busquets. It's the same pattern as the first half. Spain having all the possession. Iniesta. And just a little block on him from the hard-working Morales put him off. Eduardo's only 27, the goalkeeper. Has really made it after loan spells to Bahia Mar and Vitoria Setúbal. His game's come on apace after those opportunities at other clubs apart from his original club Braga, his parent club. This was Hugo Almeida going in with Sergio Ramos. It's competitive, it's combative, but it's not producing goals at the moment. Xavi Alonso. Capdevila, formerly of Deportivo La Coruña, now of Villarreal. Villa to Xavi Alonso. This one is a good ball to Capdevila. Fools the opponent, still doesn't get round him the first time. Has a second go. Feeds Villa. Now Puyol went down there rather craftily as though he'd been caught. He wasn't caught at all by Pepe. They've come across one another several times in the guise of Real Madrid against Barcelona fixtures. And this is the World Cup and this is Spain against Portugal, but it's no score. Bruno Alves onto Simão. Simão has played for most of the big clubs in Europe. Piqué trots forward. Puyol of the shaggy hair. Across to Puyol of the to Piqué of the very short hair. Busquets. No hint of any movement on the touch lines, but now Torres has got a meaningful ball out to that far side, and Sergio Ramos will take on the defender. Here comes the cross, up went to Busquets, and it was well cleared from him. But Cointreau loses it. Iniesta for Xavi. There's a man out on the left, in fact there are two, and this first one is David Villa. Is he to be the talisman and marksman again this evening? Villa for Xavi. The ball in is good, and it bounces and up into the midriff of the goalkeeper, Eduardo. And then there's a one-on-one, and Piqué beaten for pace. Hugo Almeida turns in, brilliant check, and then across the goal, and just across as well, with a scampering Casillas unable to get to it. It's a narrow squeak for the Spanish. Excellent play, I have to say, from Hugo Almeida, and it nearly curled in, didn't it? It just tweaked outside the upright. And Casillas was panicking for a moment. Merels with the corner for Portugal. It is their third, and they've half a dozen up for it. Doesn't produce a clean header though for the Portuguese. Kept in by Simão. There's still plenty up around the edge of that 18-yard area. Oh, and that's a rather woeful way to finish the move. But Hugo Almeida really caused a flutter in the hearts of the Spanish. With the aid of a massive deflection off Puyol, it would have gone down as Puyol on goal. We've seen a couple of own goals in this World Cup. Piqué tries to find a gap. Yet again, it's all the way back to Puyol. Now with Busquets. At full stretch, that's into Xavi, it's into the wider position here, and there's no cross forthcoming. Not the first time from Sergio Ramos anyway. Iniesta, Villa on his outside, here is Villa. A one-on-one confrontation for David Villa, it's back with Iniesta, who tries to pass the ball into the net. And for the umpteenth time tonight, it strikes somebody in a white shirt. How well they've defended it. Ricardo Carvalho is probably the man of the match at the moment. One of the central defenders of Portugal. He hasn't missed a trick. Hugo Almeida just caught here by Sergio Ramos. Nothing great in terms of intent there, but the free kick was awarded for Portugal. We'll go all the way back to Eduardo to instigate the move. Now with Carvalho, Bruno Alves, Fabio Cointreau. Torres can't get to this one ahead of Alves. Spain's free kick. The foul was on Sergio Ramos by Simão. You put your foot up on me, he said. No hint of a booking in this game, however. The Argentine referee reasonably patient, trying to let the game flow, which is good. Xavi does flow to his left in company with Busquets. Then he'll knock it into the gap now, occupied by Sergio Ramos, who's going this way and that before refinding Xavi. It's a through ball that was intended for Ramos. He hadn't read his pal's intentions. It's cat and mouse still. 10 minutes have been played in the second half. Portugal's turn to try and come and find a way through. What happened with that pass from Pepe? And for the first time, my eyes gaze down onto the dugouts and find a Spanish player enter the fray. And that player is going to be a striker as well. This is in towards Torres. And Portugal are going to make a switch at the very same time. So both coaches decide to play a card at the same moment. It is like poker. Or maybe chess. Well, although he got to the ball first there, Ricardo Costa couldn't direct it to anybody in the white of Portugal, but now it is Cristiano Ronaldo. His ball is decent. The chance is there for the cross in, and Ronaldo's gone for it, and it's fisted away by Casillas as Ronaldo came tearing in on goal. And they do have these breaks. Portugal look very menacing. This one's pulled back in, and at full stretch it will be cleared. Piqué got a touch on it crucially there for Spain, who advanced through Xavi. Opened up just a little bit here as far as David Villa, who will take it in flight, and then he'll try and take on Ricardo Costa. He'll go in field with Villa. He'll go for the return ball. And was he brought down? No, the referee said Villa went down without a push. And still those substitutions cannot happen. Both sides are going to bring strikers on. Fresh legs. With still more than half an hour remaining. And Portugal with a possibility here. It is Simão. He's one-on-one with Piqué. Simão will pull it across and Busquets will block it. Oh, Sergio Ramos very weakly gave that one away. One or two mistakes creeping in. Quantrao can't get through, and now the substitutions will happen. The fourth official on the touchline, Carlos Batres from Guatemala, holds up the figure 18, which means that Hugo Almeida is coming off for Portugal, and he will be replaced by Dani, the 26-year-old striker. Dani, who plays in Russia at Zenit St. Petersburg. And on the other side, it will be another night without a goal for Fernando Torres. And he is giving way to Fernando Llorente, whose full name, by the way, is Fernando Llorente Torres. So it's Fernando Torres for Fernando Torres, except he doesn't have the Llorente in his name. A big moment for a young player here who scored on his second appearance against England. He's 6'5", so height is the order of the moment for Spain. There's still no goals in this disappointing World Cup for Fernando Torres. As Portugal advance with an opportunity here, big chance. No, it's offside flag, almost inevitable as he's going along the goal line. One wonders, as we have a look at Dani there, if in this World Cup we ever are going to see a goal from Fernando Torres. It'd be just like him to go and get the winner in the final, as he did in that European Championship final in Vienna 2 years ago today. His replacement, Llorente, is from the Athletic Bilbao club up in the Basque region of Spain. And he has 3 goals in only 7 appearances for the national team. So it's a pretty healthy record. He's a late developer. Some of the Spanish media thought they were joking when he was first picked, because his record didn't show anything great. But he's done okay, and he's on the field of play here now with just over half an hour remaining. Villa. Back to Xavi Alonso. David Villa. Sergio Ramos goes for the high ball in, and Llorente produces a stop of some reactionary brilliance from Eduardo. Almost an inspired substitution there, with Llorente flinging himself into the header right in front of Eduardo's goal, and the Portuguese number one preserving this amazing record of Portugal of not having conceded in this World Cup. Highlight of the night so far. It would have been the highlight of Llorente's career had the ball gone in the net. Busquets now to Capdevila, from Iniesta to Villa. David Villa, he'll go for goal as well. It's a foot wide, and in the last 60 seconds we've seen both Llorente and Villa come close to breaking the deadlock for Spain. So close to what would have been goal number 4 for Villa. That was very close to Llorente's first in the World Cup finals. The downward header beaten away by the fingers of Eduardo on top form. Ooh, the Spanish supporters, they thought it was in. The game perked up for a moment there. There were 2 chances created, and Eduardo on his mettle. It is still going to require something special to split these teams. Iniesta, Xavi, they are special ones. A bit like that Portuguese manager. Piqué for Iniesta, and again Iniesta didn't quite get to him. Pepe brings Portugal not very far clear because it's gone straight to Piqué, and from him straight to Villa again. The Spanish are looking a little more menacing. I'm not quite sure what's changed, but they are. It is Xavi. Maybe the time is ripe for that opening goal. They're queuing up again here now with Iniesta. Through here for Villa. Beaten away first time in the second. David Villa's done it. If anybody was going to pull the trigger for Spain tonight, it was going to be the boy they call the kid, David Villa. Spain's record goal scorer in World Cup history makes the breakthrough. 62 minutes on the clock, and the resolute Portuguese have been broken. Villa's 4th goal of these World Cup finals. The intricate build-up inevitably involved Iniesta, poked through the eye of the needle and prodded second time beyond Eduardo into the Portuguese net. The European champions are in front. And it's a World Cup that is getting better and better for David Villa. He's turning out to be one of the individual stars. Here goes Iniesta again, and they fall forward here. And it's Villa once again. His heart will be pounding. He's up for it, and he gets the corner. Well, David Villa at the age of 28 is about to move to Barcelona for big, big money. And you can see why they've paid just under £35 million for him. He is so sharp. And it's in there again, and Eduardo's fists punch it to safety. Well, it was intricate passing around the edge of the Portuguese penalty area that eventually opened up Queiros's side. And it was the final ball from Iniesta that just gave Villa his chance, and although he had to have 2 bites at the cherry, you somehow knew the result was inevitable. Meireles. Portugal are the next nation to be catching a flight home. They've 25 minutes left in which to rescue their cause and their campaign. They must stretch now. On goes Xavi. He's still there. He's got Llorente on the outside. He's also got Villa, the man of the moment. And it is David Villa who prods it to Xavi. Well, they were looking menacing, much more menacing in the 2 or 3 minutes in the build-up before the goal. You just sensed there was a change in the complexion of the match. And so it turned out. Now they have to hold that goal. They have been broken once by Chile in the early minutes of the second half in Pretoria, when Rodrigo Milá scored. Otherwise, Spain have conceded to Switzerland as well, of course. They do not want to concede again now. The odds are in their favour. They're swarming forward, the red shirts here. And this one is directly to Carvalho, who calmly sweeps up. Morels. They've got to get Cristiano Ronaldo into the game a little bit more. That will be a Casillas ball. Llorente has just had to go off the field of play momentarily. He had his shirt pulled and torn, so he's had to change his shirt. So you may see him at the bottom of your picture any second now. There he is, waiting for the message to come back on. Meanwhile, Capdevila is blocked off. Free kick. He knew exactly what he was doing there. Capdevila got the free kick out of the 2 challenges. The one from Ricardo Costa, the other one from Ricardo Carvalho. Sandwiched between 2 Ricardos. And Llorente is back on with a new shirt. They'll probably auction his old one off. Down on the Portuguese bench, anxious looks now, because they're the ones who have to come out, and they're going to leave themselves exposed at times. You can see here now, Xavi Alonso has only 2 in red shirts to aim at forward, which is why he just passes it short to Xavi. Don't expect Spain to throw too many up, but this is taken down by Xavi Alonso. Foul Spain. Free kick Portugal. Stamping by Busquets. Not a nasty stamping, but a stamping nonetheless on Thiago. Thiago, that controversial man in the Portuguese midfield, who, rumour has it, once locked the president of Juventus into a toilet because he wasn't happy about the negotiations over his contract. "68 minutes played, that means 22 to go, plus the added time. Spain a goal to the good, and David Villa got it. The 3rd time in 4 games he's scored here since that scoreless performance against the Swiss. Carvalho going to have to work hard to keep this one in. Bruno Alves. To the feet of Thiago. Simão. That surely has gone out, as Portugal prepare to bring on a second striker in Liedson. They've already made 1 change, now there will be a second. Liedson's been told just to wait his turn for a moment for some strange reason. I know not why. If they want to bring him on, surely now is the time. But again, he stands behind the assistant coach. Liedson, who's actually born in Brazil, a la Deco. They're not getting anywhere at the moment, and when Spain do get the ball and move forward sweetly now, they look ever more dangerous with Iniesta. He's got Llorente to his left. He's got Sergio Ramos rampaging up from the right. It is Ramos, and still, and the shot is flicked just wide of the uprights by Eduardo. If anybody deserves a goal for Spain in these World Cup finals, it is Sergio Ramos. He's hit so many shots in, and that one was certainly destined for the net until the wrist of Eduardo deflected it wide of the posts. He's going to be a man exposed in the closing 20 minutes to just that sort of lightning break. Yeah, so close to being all over, I think. It's going to be a double switch by Portugal. And will they make it before the corner or not? It would seem not. Here is Xavi's flag kick. Portugal had everybody back to defend. Now they can move forward. From the left boot of Casillas, up there to Llorente, whose height might be crucial to the Spanish cause. Villa, a smaller man, advances, with Llorente in the middle. And another corner one for the Spanish. And again, the Portuguese assistant coach on the touchline says we're not going to make the corner. We're not going to make the switches while there is a corner. It'd be ironic if Spain scored from it. And they know the scenario, so they are putting plenty of bodies in here as they seek this second goal, which would surely clinch the match. Xavi to measure it. He needs a bit more elevation on it this time, especially with Llorente in there. And it's got the elevation, but it's over everybody. And so Portugal will make their changes now. Coming on will be Liedson, a striker, and also Pedro Mendes, a midfield player. First to go off is Pepe, the man who plays in front of the defensive line, to be replaced by Pedro Mendes, who had a spell of play in the English Premier League with Tottenham Hotspur and also with Portsmouth. And Liedson is also on, wearing number 9, known as the light one because of his build, and he's replaced another very light player in Simão. Clever player, Simão. Certainly not a lot of him. Now then, Spain. 1-0 to the good, and knowing that a second goal would kill off Portugal. So Capdevila will use Villa on the flank. 18 minutes remaining in Cape Town. Villa's the one who got the breakthrough. So across to Ramos, who takes it down under some duress. And then Iniesta. Once again, they'll just look for that gap that the Spanish might exploit, although Piqué hoists a much longer ball. Villa here is just so effective for Spain in this left-sided role of his. He's causing damage to every opponent from the flank, whichever way he goes. Now Llorente holds off Carvalho. He's got a more physical presence as Llorente than Torres at the moment. Though Torres did play better tonight than in the previous 2 games. That will be a free kick, I'm sure. And I think the card is coming out as well for Xabi Alonso here. It's the first card of the evening. Morales is getting a bit excitable now. Confirmation there that Xabi Alonso has picked up not only the first card of the evening, but the first card for a Spanish player in this World Cup in game number 4. And he gets it for the challenge on the new man Pedro Mendes. With 17 minutes remaining in the Greenpoint Stadium. If Portugal got an equaliser, we'd have a terrific finish. We might have another 30 minutes as well. Down the line, good ball from Coentrão. Onto the head of Puyol though. And then a most un-Xavi-like pass, just humped in the air for Llorente to use his 6'5" frame. And get the free kick. He's done well since he's come on, the player from Athletic Bilbao. 23 goals last season for his club. And he scored in a recent warm-up fixture for the World Cup finals against against Saudi Arabia. Clever ball in. It is Ramos. Can he? Well, he does, as I say earlier, deserve to find the net, but not on that occasion. Ramos had a great goal-scoring record for a fullback at one time. It was something like a goal every 4 games. He's also got a record of yellow cards. Over 60 and 9 red cards in his career, Ramos. Well, we've seen few indiscretions from him here in South Africa. Just good rampaging fullback play. which we get from Coentrão for Portugal now. And they've 3-on-3 here. If they could get this right, it would be very interesting. But the ball spins off Coentrão after an exemplary tackle from Puyol, who gets a handshake. Well done. Perfectly timed from the Barcelona captain and Spanish stalwart. Only 2 players have played more matches for Barcelona than Puyol. Well, that's a lovely.
Juste ici.
Quarter of an hour remaining. Spain 1, Portugal 0 is the scoreline. It's not all over yet. Casillas. And Villa. And slows things down. No great urgency for the Spanish. There certainly is for Portugal. Xabi Alonso. Oh, well, I don't know how he did that. He sort of came out of the maze to find Ramos. Xavi, Villa in a big gap there, leaving David Villa quite a lot of space, which he tries to utilise. A flying stop from Eduardo again. How well the Portuguese keeper has played, but it is back with Villa. He might get a second chance here. He's blocked off. Touch forward to Liedson. I do have to say that Cristiano Ronaldo has been a peripheral figure in this game. Barely seen him. It's Xavi. Always has options, Xavi. He knows that's his job, to find space, just to pass the ball to another red shirt. And nobody in the world does it better than this man, Xavi. Busquets is the one he finds this time. Piqué. Here they come again. 13 minutes to go. Lovely passing, Iniesta, Xavi and Xabi Alonso. The inevitable trio. The 3 wise men out there. And Piqué forward. Iniesta, this one doesn't get to the intended mark, and that will be a free kick against Ramos. Decent try from distance. Nobody's had more shots in this World Cup than David Villa. It's Portugal who need shots at the moment. They've had but 7 throughout the 78 minutes of play, 3 of which have brought saves from goalkeeper Casillas. Spain have had 18 shots on goal, and Eduardo has made 10 saves already. You wouldn't bet against him having to make 1 or 2 more. Andres Iniesta. So elegant. Now Piqué. The longer one aimed at Llorente. Bruno Alves to Pedro Mendes. It's the running off the ball that's crucial here for Portugal. They've got to try and get themselves into positions to take up attacking options. But Mendes has conceded, Dani's conceded a free kick. Queiroz getting ever more agitated as he sees Portugal's World Cup dreams slipping between their fingers. David Villa. His 7th goal in World Cup finals out for David Villa, who sees a yellow card administered here. And there's the man who's got it, Thiago, and it does mean he misses the quarter-final if Portugal win tonight. A little flick out at Villa. Thiago was also booked against Brazil. The first Portuguese player cautioned this evening, but the Argentine officials had good control of this game, which has been played in good spirit and is not yet over by any means. Exactly 10 minutes to go. Portugal with attacking options here. As Ronaldo flights one across, and although Piqué got head to ball, it could have gone to another Portuguese player. Quancho does knock it out wide. And then when he loses it, away goes Iniesta, grappling with him. Still Iniesta. Xavi waits for someone to arrive, and that someone is Villa. He takes it down to pedestrian pace. Xavi. There isn't a better team in the world at retaining possession than Spain. So Piqué and Busquets exchange the passes. They keep the ball. It's the crucial thing. And they have free kicks. Plenty of them. And off they go again with Xavi. Nobody seems to take the ball off Xavi. Iniesta. For Villa. The Olays will be ringing around Cape Town as they pass the ball around the Spanish. It is the hallmark of their game. It's what made them the European champions. It's what could make them the world champions. So many letdowns over the years, the Spanish, but this team has got more about it. And they've got the one goal that may split the difference. Sergio Ramos into Xavi. Almost gets in the way, Ramos. Iniesta instead. The advance with Villa on the outside. Iniesta still. And eventually Portugal get the ball, and Spain must have put together 25 or 26 passes there. But Portugal can't put together more than 2. Way beyond Ronaldo. All the back heels and the back flicks and the subtleties have not much use to Cristiano Ronaldo, while the score is 1-0 in Spain's favour with 8 minutes on the clock. And Llorente. And Ramos just loves to get on the outside of his opponent and then gallop down the touchline. Xavi to Ramos to Busquets to Xavi Alonso. They're captivating the crowd with their passing skills now. A few words exchanged down there between Ricardo Costa and David Villa. And you would think that Spain would like to kill the contest off with a second goal, but they're taking their time about it. Villa now will put some thrust into the movement. Plenty of Spanish shirts for company. But when the ball is lost, it is Portugal who advance through Thiago. Thiago's made a bit of a comeback in his career after some awkward times, shall we say, at Juventus in particular. It's Portugal who need the pep. It's Spain who get the ball back. And they've just got too much wherewithal for the Portuguese. Although the latter does have the ball again. And he's onside. Until Piqué steps across there and dispossesses Quancho. The ball in is met first time by Sergio Ramos. It's away as far as Carvalho, and Portugal really need to get the ball forward to the front men. Now they've brought Liedson and Dani on, 2 strikers who've barely seen the ball since their arrival, though. They just can't get it off Spain. Mendes. 6 minutes remaining in Cape Town. 6 minutes separating Spain from a quarter-final appearance against Paraguay. On the angle to Ronaldo. Beaten down. No foul on him. He'll spread his arms in despair. It's not been Cristiano Ronaldo's night, that's for certain. He's got nothing from the officials, and Capdevila going in with him. Well, there was a push in the chest, but the officials saw nothing. And it must be very frustrating to play against Spain, who just retained this possession so admirably and so easily. as they sweep forward in number again here now. It is Ramos. Down he goes, no foul. 5 to go. And Spain will certainly take 5, in the words of Dave Brubeck, the song. Take 5 more minutes, don't concede a goal, and they will be through. Coentrão, he's led most of the good Portuguese movements down that left touchline tonight. He's done really well again here until the final cross, which was neither shot nor cross nor anything. Now life becomes increasingly frustrating for Portugal. I think Danny was protesting to the referee that should have been a corner kick. As we can see from our replay, it certainly was not. Spain are edging towards the last 8. And their fabulous record just seems to get better and better. Villa once again, in towards Llorente, a flick of the head! Carries the ball no more than a foot outside Eduardo's uprights. That would have been it. Instead of which Portugal will come with Pedro Mendes. Thiago. Well, they should be encouraged by that miss to believe they're still alive. And Mendes will hoist it far side. And here it is, the first time ball from Villa. And that was almost adios Portugal, not quite. Eduardo's been an excellent goalkeeper for Portugal, not just this evening but throughout this World Cup. Spain are going to bring on the little striker from Barcelona, Pedro, and take off their goal-scoring hero once again, David Villa. Maybe just protecting him for the match against Paraguay, if that's the way it turns out. That's the goal he got, and that's the difference. Pedro from Barcelona for his 5th cap coming on. And David Villa, 7 shots, 5 of them on the target, which says a lot. That's a great ratio. And 1 goal is the most important statistic. But who knows, because Portugal have a free kick here in the dying moments of this game. 2.5 minutes remain plus the added time. They've got to get it back up there very sharply. The Spanish defence resolute. It's back in again though, and it comes down for the shot. Brilliant block. Capdevila there served his nation proudly. A superb block from Capdevila. Who knows what we might have been reporting otherwise. That will be another free kick Portugal's way. Spain just inducing a few problems for themselves defensively now. It'll be back into the danger area. It's got through, but it will be a yellow card here. Oh, it's a red card. Well, the referee has taken some dramatic action here, I have to say, that I was surprised about. But Ricardo Costa, a red card comes out for Costa, the Portuguese defender. There seems to be some sympathy for him. I think it's going to be for a dive, is it? Oh no, it's for the arm that came out and caught Capdevila. And the Argentine referee had no hesitation there. Capdevila saying he was caught on the side of the head by the Portuguese defender, and we have a red card. There it is, there's the elbow. And there is the end of Ricardo Costa's World Cup. Capdevila is certainly not badly hurt, although he has been cuffed around the ears. And Portugal are reduced to 10 with 30 seconds of normal time left on the clock. And this one has got up towards Llorente, who might prod it past Eduardo, but the bounce of the ball didn't favour the striker. Portugal swarming forward. They have numbers up here. Oh, and that's a rather desperate try, to say the least. more than desperate from Cristiano Ronaldo. We have not seen the best of him in these World Cup finals. There are 3 minutes separating Spain from advancement. Well, Ronaldo cuts a forlorn figure, really. And that really was a sign of desperation, that shot. He got 1 goal in the 7-0 romp against the Koreans, but his World Cup has not been an eminent one, not one he'll remember very fondly. Not unless Portugal get a goal now, and you can't see that somehow. The match always looked like turning on one moment, and if one person was to turn it, you always thought it was probably going to be David Villa, and so it has transpired as Spain prepare to bring on another defender in Carlos Marchena. Just to slow things down, you imagine. Capdevila involved in the incident which saw the dismissal there of the Portuguese defender Ricardo Costa. Now a free kick for Spain with 2 minutes of added time remaining. They aren't going to rush the substitution. They're asking the referee for permission to bring Marchena on. He doesn't give the permission. Llorente turns, Carvalho does well to get the ball, which is now in the possession of Pedro Mendes, but it's soon back with Spain again. Xavi. Llorente was in an offside position and couldn't approach the ball, but maybe Liedson is going to be the hero for Portugal in these closing seconds. It's got to be in quickly, and it's a weak attempted ball from Dani. Portugal had an opening there for a moment. And they're having a good old natter, the two of them, Capdevila and Bruno Alves. Less than 60 seconds remaining as Marchena comes on and Xavi Alonso goes off. I say it's a ploy to slow the game down here by the Spanish coach Del Bosque. The seconds will be added on nonetheless, so it's always a bit of a strange one for me, that. It's a bit of a red herring. So Marchena will get about 30 seconds of action, a minute at most. The throw to come from Raul Morales. They've got to get the ball into the area. Carvalho says do that to Mendes, and in it comes now. Crucial seconds for Portugal to try and snatch the game and take it into extra time. Back it will come in again. Liedson was in behind Puyol, it didn't reach him. And surely Spain will run it out now. They'll run the clock down, they don't need to do so anymore. The Spanish substitutes race onto the field here in Cape Town. Portugal are vanquished. Spain are through to the last 8 to meet Paraguay. They did it with a single goal from David Villa, who takes a piggyback on Xavi Alonso's back. At the end of the night, it was Spain's night in Cape Town. They've beaten Portugal by 1-0.